let's get into it, Sean. We're going with the early windows of games in week 3. Let's get some NFL week 3 overreactions going. I love doing this. We do it week by week every Sunday. We'll start with this. The 3-0 Minnesota Vikings, after the 34-7 win over the Texans, are legit NFC contenders. Reaction or not? Overreaction or not?
I think that's an overreaction. I will say I've been very surprised by the Vikings. I think that I think it's fair to say that they might have the best coaching staff in the league with Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores. What he's done with the defense is just exceptional at this point. I mean, to hold the Texans to 7 points today is, that says about as much as you need to. But with that said, I still can't get, NFC contender. I think that's a little bit of a stretch right now. I was just looking at the betting board. They're behind the Niners, Lions, Eagles, Cowboys, Packers, Saints, and Falcons when it comes to like the NFC favorite. And we can debate and we can argue where those teams stand at a different time, but I don't think that it's I just can't see all of a sudden, we're sitting here in late January, early February, and the Vikings have made this push for the Super Bowl essentially.
Yeah, I think it's an overreaction. I mean, they've looked great through 3 weeks. Sam Darnold has been one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Like, it's been amazing, his resurgence under Kevin O'Connell. And that shows, like, Christian Darrisaw up front, Justin Jefferson outside with Kevin O'Connell as a play caller. So much has to go right for quarterbacks to thrive. But for him to come from the 49ers of Minnesota, there's continuity in that playbook and play the way he has. But it's all about the defense for the Vikings. It's still an overreaction to say they're contenders, but they have the base there. They have the foundation. Last week, they forced the 49ers to go 2 for 10 on third down. This week, 2 interceptions. CJ Stroud is what he threw, was never comfortable. The Texans averaged under 3 yards a rush. This Minnesota team will mess around and ruin some games for some teams, especially playing at home in that dome. They caused the Texans' offensive line to have 3 straight false starts, Sean. Laramie Tunsil, a veteran tackle, was that 3rd straight one, and they had one later in the game in the 4th. Like, they were just shook. But like you said, it's credit to Brian Flores, who could be in position to get back to having a head coaching job as the DC of the Vikings right now, because it's back-to-back years he's played well. They're doing this also with Stephon Gilmore as their corner 1, who again is playing at a high level, is healthy. You could tell his shoulder is better than how he ended last season, especially in the playoffs for the Cowboys. But they're healthy right now, and they're getting so much. All right, Malik Nabers is a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. Overreaction or not?
I'm going to say this is an overreaction too, and I'm sorry if I'm spoiling any fun. I think he's another one. Like, I've been pleasantly surprised with Malik Nabers and how he's able to produce for the Giants, because I think Daniel Jones is that bad. And so just to see Malik Nabers really contribute, and I was going through 23 catches, 271 yards, and 3 touchdowns on the season now after 3 games. That's including his 8 catches, 78 yards, and 2 touchdowns today. One of those touchdowns, I was watching the game, one of those touchdowns came almost, I think it was either the play or 2 plays after Daniel Jones missed a wide open tight end for a touchdown. So if Daniel Jones makes that throw to the tight end, Malik Nabers is one less touchdown, and maybe the hype isn't as hyping, I guess, at this point. But I can't say that he's a top 5. Top 10, I think probably fair. I can't say top 5.
Hey, that touchdown catch was ridiculous, though. To me, it's all about, I'm talking ceiling here. I'll say he's top 5. It's his athleticism. It's his catch radius, the strength he has, how easily he can climb the ladder and elevate and catch a ball, how strong his hands are with really good route running. Like, his red flag coming out of LSU is that he runs hot, and the Giants knew that, and they took him. If it wasn't Marvin Harrison Jr. in this draft, like, he would have went to Arizona. He would have been that wide receiver 1. And his athleticism outshines MHJ in that facet of the game. Like, he is an absolute game wrecker. I would say he's top 5. And it's Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Brown. Where do you put them? I would put Malik Nabers in front of an Amon-Ra St. Brown because of what his ceiling can be. I know he can get to that point, but Amon-Ra St. Brown's done it for so many years. Malik Nabers, it's a 3-game sample size. We'll see what he does extended time. So I'll say he's top 5 right now. But if you're going, he's going to be top 5. He's top 5. You're saying, no, he is top. That's an overreaction. Let's see how the season ends. All right. Caleb Williams and Will Levis should both be benched. Overreaction or not?
I'm going to say that's an overreaction. I don't even really want to spend much time on the Caleb Williams thing. I just think it's too early. Has he looked great? No, but I mean, throwing him on the bench right now would just be a catastrophic thing for that organization. Will Levis has looked really bad. I mean, some of the turnovers he's had are just, he had a pick today to Jair Alexander. I mean, kind of a telegraphed pick six, went the other way. The fumble that made rounds on social media, I think it was just last week.
It was.
That was really bad too. He has 8 turnovers. He leads all players, all quarterbacks with 8 turnovers in 3 games. Really bad. But the Titans have Mason Rudolph behind him. So I don't know exactly how much of a lift Mason Rudolph would give you. And, Callahan just came out today and said, yeah, we're going to continue to stick with Will Levis. So I just don't think I don't think it's a great situation, but I don't think it's a situation where he deserves to be benched.
He's played 11 games so far in his career. He has 7 interceptions. Well, after today, that's now 9. So he's played 12 games, 9 interceptions. He has 2 pick sixes in 3 weeks. He could get benched mid-game, but he still has to be your starter and get these crucial reps. You can't write someone off when they have such a small sample size. And I agree, the Mason Rudolph thing, I looked at their depth chart, I'm like, that's the guy they have? He's still in the league even?
Yeah.
But it shows how hard it is to find a good backup. As for Caleb Williams, his offensive line should be benched, not him. They don't give him a chance. But you bench them, it's going to be even worse. Last one will go. Will Nick Sirianni be the first coach fired in the NFL, Sean? Coming off the Eagles, getting that late out of nowhere, pulling a win out of nowhere against the Saints.
I do not think that's an overreaction. So Nick Sirianni is a 3rd and 16 pass away from Dallas Goedert that at 2 maybe Saints defenders ran
3
into each other, and then Dallas Goedert picks up 61 yards, sets Philly up at, I think it was the 4-yard line within the 5, and they score a touchdown that essentially wins them the game. With that said, that's if they lost that game, I think that Sirianni, and I think the seat's hot, but I think it is incredibly hot if he loses that game. It's coming off a borderline impossible week 2 loss to the Falcons. I saw at one point, I think it was 2 minutes left, that I think it was a next gen stats or something, that it was a 0.7% chance that the Falcons win that game with less than 2 minutes left. And for Atlanta to win that game and beat Philly, just incredible. And it's, seeing Philly fans as sad and sulking and just as upset as they are. I mean, that I was on social media today, and it was 4th and 1 or whatever with 14 seconds left in the first half, and Sirianni went for it. They didn't get the first down, but even if they did, it would have been 1st and 10 with 10 seconds left in the half. It was a mind-numbing decision to make, and seeing him make that, and then the fallout on Eagles Twitter was just, chef's kiss. It was really,
for a Cowboys
I just loved
fan.
seeing it.
Yeah, for a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
I think Doug Peterson, if they go 0-3 on Monday night, that seat gets scorching hot. And with Trevor Lawrence still having no answer on offense, with paying him, with investing in the receivers, I think it's Doug Peterson, but it is Nick Sirianni too, because again, Jalen Hurts got paid. They invested so much in this offense. They went and drafted on the defense. Can Nick Sirianni keep the culture and keep them winning? And he just can't right now. And if he keeps getting in his own way, Howie Rosen will pull the plug. He does not care. They know what they're doing in Philly, and they have very, very low patience for a guy like Sirianni, where they've got 2 new coordinators in Vic Fangio and in Kellen Moore. Can they get back to winning way? I think it would be Doug Peterson. I just think it's been a rougher start, and there hasn't been progress since they made the playoffs back in 2022, 2023. But Nick Sirianni's next. There's a Brian Daboll's. They won a game, but as long as Joe Shane's there, then Daboll isn't going anywhere. Kevin Stefanski, but the Haslams, they should fire themselves into Deshaun Watson, not Stefanski. But yeah, I think it's either Sirianni or it's Doug Peterson. I don't think it's overreaction that he would be the first coach fired.